very fortunate to have Kevin here with us this weekend, and we are thankful for his service on the College of Arts and Sciences Board of Visitors. Please join me in welcoming Kevin back to campus.
Thank you, Jerry, and thank you, Dean Ruland, for giving me the opportunity to talk to you for a couple of minutes this morning. So when Jerry said he's the CEO of Lincoln Park Zoo, I looked around the audience and I could see some of you probably thought, well, this is pretty cool. Others of you were saying, zoo? Well, you know what? Zoos, that's not a good place. Well, you're probably right in both those thoughts. If you look around the United States today, there are about 2,500 zoos and aquariums that are licensed by the USDA. However, there are only 218 that are accredited by the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. What makes those 218 more special is they devote significant resources to conservation, education, and animal welfare. So I'm happy to say that Lincoln Park Zoo is one of those 218. And I'm telling you this too because I hope that maybe I might entice some of you at some point in time to work in either your local city zoo or aquarium or come to Chicago and work at Lincoln Park Zoo. Our Conservation and Science Department has 42 staff members, 42 scientists, 17 PhDs, and they work around the world. And a lot of our scientists who do epidemiology, endocrinology, population biology, landscape ecology, all work together to help successful animal reintroduction programs around the globe. So I hope that gives you a little better impression of what some good zoos can be. But what I really wanted to talk to you about today was sort of my journey to Syracuse back in 1970 and then my return to Syracuse about a dozen years ago. So I had a little bit of an unusual childhood. I actually grew up in the Bronx Zoo in New York. My father was the curator of birds at the Bronx Zoo, and as such, they actually gave us a house, which was right in the middle of a 252-acre zoo. So all my time after school and before school was doing chores, which included working with a lot of animals that needed special care. And I basically did that from age 5 until I went away to college. During those many years, my parents tried to send me off to camp many times. Usually by the second or third day, I called them up and said, I hate this, I want to come back. I mean, I had a great life. I was surrounded by 2,500 pets, 2,500 friends. But what didn't happen is, as I was working in the zoo, my friends were mainly animals. And so when it came time to go away to college, I had a long sit down with my parents and they decided, well, maybe it's time for Kevin to go away. Not too far from the zoo, but go away so that he sort of creates a bond with people rather than with animals. It was a bit of an adjustment for me. Personnel skills are something that we all develop over a long period of time. But for me, it turned out to be a fantastic experience. My freshman year, there was a sophomore named Tom Hornstein, who still lives in the Chicago area, who organized our intramural team, and we actually won the intramural dorm championship my freshman year. It's still an experience. I still remember getting woken up to run track at 6 o'clock in the morning when I had run before. It was an incredible bonding experience, and I think that's part of what Syracuse is about. But I also knew deep down I was going to be a zoo person when I left college. The college experience to me, the coursework probably wasn't going to be that helpful. I knew all there was to know about birds, given my dad was the curator of ornithology. So I left Syracuse. I went to graduate school at State University of New York, studied puffins off the coast of Maine, and immediately got a call in about a year and a half into graduate school to come to Lincoln Park Zoo as the curator of birds in 1976. For 18 years, I worked at what I thought was the best job in the world as curator, traveling to places like Panama, Indonesia, Iceland, Africa, to study and work on conservation projects to save endangered species. But then something strange happened. After 18 years as curator of birds, my longtime mentor and director of the zoo, Dr. Lester Fisher, announced his retirement. And the Zoo Society and the Chicago Park District and Mayor Daley came and said, we'd like you to take the job as director of the zoo. And I turned him down. I did not want to leave what I thought was the best job imaginable. They hired an outsider, actually a politician, to come in and run the zoo. He lasted for about 9 months. And they came back to me a second time and said, we'd like you to take over the zoo. And this time, having worked for that gentleman who didn't work out very well, I thought, well, okay, maybe I should give it a try. So in 1993, June of 1993, I took over as director of the zoo. In July of 1993, Mayor Daley called and said, we want to privatize the zoo. Now, I barely knew what privatize meant, but it meant a complete cultural transformation of our entire zoo, of all the employees who were leaving sort of the public sector and going into the private sector. More importantly, as time went on, a major part of my job as a CEO was fundraising. And to fundraise successfully, you have to get to know donors. You have to be able to do really well in public settings. And that's where I started to think, wow, that liberal arts education that I got at Syracuse really put me in a great, great position for this job. So I guess the long story short is, you may have an initial job that you've trained for, you've worked for, you've studied for when you get out of college, but you never know what's down the road. And to me, there is nothing better than a liberal arts education. And I hope that you all will find that out in the future as well. So, shortly after I had that thought about Syracuse, luckily Syracuse reached out to me and said they would like me to come back and get involved with the university. And for the past 12 years, I've been involved with the Board of Visitors for the College of Arts and Sciences, and it's been a tremendous rewarding experience. And I know I've had the opportunity to have lunch with some of you out in the audience, and it's just so great to be able to give back to the university and to interact with all of you. So I hope that as you leave Syracuse tomorrow, that you'll think about keeping that bond with Syracuse going forward. Don't wait as long as I waited. We have a tremendous opportunity now to network with other alumni in the cities. We have about 3,000 alumni in Chicago. We've hosted several events at the zoo for alumni, for incoming students. It's a great way to understand and learn about others in your community that maybe have similar careers and similar experiences from Syracuse. And lastly, I'll just end with just a little bit of advice. I've probably interviewed 1,000 people for jobs over my time at Lincoln Park Zoo. And I know all of you are going into the job field, maybe after graduate school. So just a couple of things to keep in mind. One is resumes. I get an awful lot of resumes, as you can imagine. A lot of them professionally prepared, some of them prepared by the individual themselves. Somewhat rare these days. But the one thing I look at a resume is there passion for what this person wants to do? And where I do is go down to the experience line and look at, have they volunteered? Have they taken internships? Have they done everything they can possibly do to learn more about the field that they're interested in? All the other stuff on the resume is great, but I want to see that passion. I want to make sure that they have really committed to what they want to do. Second thing, obviously, is communication skills. And I talk to my staff about this all the time. When you go in for that interview, when your resume gets you into that office where you're in front of a person who's determining whether or not you should get a job, look them straight in the eyes and show that passion. Don't break eye contact. I've had people come in and they talk and they say, well, I really love this job. And they're kind of looking around, and you just don't get a feel that they're actually truly committed to what they want to do. So don't be afraid to keep that eye contact and convince that interviewer that you're the right person for the job. And lastly, I hope that you all will consider jobs in the not-for-profit sector. We don't get paid quite as much as the for-profit sector, but I will tell you it's extremely rewarding. And if you are in the sciences, you're interested in marketing, you're interested in communication, we could use you at Lincoln Park. So if you're in the Chicago area, I hope you'll consider Lincoln Park Zoo. Congratulations to all of you. Such a great achievement, and I look forward to seeing you in the future.